In the days of dial-up and AOL 3.0, there was no such thing as social media, at least not the way that we know it today. But despite that, people still felt the need to put themselves out there and claim a little piece of the internet for themselves. And the way a lot of people chose to do this was to make a personal homepage on a free service like GeoCities, Fortune City, Zoom, etc. I definitely made a few of these for myself back in the day. I remember I had a really shitty one with a sky background and just like a list of cool people. That was the whole website, cool people. You just get a picture of yourself, scanned, write an awful paragraph, and throw up some terrible MIDI background music, and you're good to go. You got a homepage. And in 1998, halfway across the world in Turkey, a man named Mahir made a homepage of his own. This is my page. Welcome to my homepage. I kiss you. I like music. I have many music instruments in my home I can play. I like sports, swimming, basketball, tennis, volleyball, walk. I like sex. I like to make photo camera. Animals, downs, nice nude models, and pimples. My tall, 1.84 centimeters. My weight, 78 kilograms. My eyes green. I live alone. I have home, car. And like the vast majority of these kinds of homepages, Mahir's was forgotten about almost immediately after it was made. And that homepage would remain forgotten for about a year until one day in 1999, Mahir woke up to find out that he was suddenly the most famous man on the internet. His homepage went viral before going viral was even really a thing. All of a sudden, his face is everywhere. Everybody knows who he is. Articles are being written about him. He's getting phone calls from reporters. He goes so mainstream that even Mad TV makes a parody sketch about him.
I will photo your sex! Sex!
Mahir had essentially become the first bona fide internet celebrity. At this point in time, Mahir is killing it. He's got advertisers throwing money at him at a pre-AdSense time when people didn't really know what anything was or wasn't worth. He's got merch. He even made an I Kiss You song. At this point in time, Mahir Mania was basically running the internet. 1 year later, in March of 2000, the Ali G show premieres. That show featured a character that you're probably very familiar with. Borat, who very clearly resembles Mahir in both appearance and demeanor. Both Mahir and Borat are womanizing Eastern European journalists who enjoy ping pong, wearing Speedos. They even share that same catchphrase, I like sex. And Mahir absolutely did notice the similarities, especially after Borat got his own movie that was a huge international success. And it seems like this should be a pretty cut and dry case. There's just no denying that the similarities between Mahir and Borat, who came out a year after him, are undeniable. But the truth is actually a lot more complicated. You see, even though Borat had made his debut in 2000, Sacha Baron Cohen had been performing as a very similar character as far back as 1996. 1996 being 2 years before Mahir ever made his website and 3 years before it became famous. Sacha Baron Cohen debuted the character in 1996 on a show called F2F. The character wasn't called Borat though, and he wasn't from Kazakhstan. He was Alexei and he was from Moldova. After F2F was finished, Cohen would bring the character to another show called Comedy Nation. Now the character was an Albanian reporter named Christo. Let's take a look at this footage of the proto-Borat, Christo from Comedy Nation.
Diana.
Diana. In Albania, we hear she is dead.
She is dead.
We are sorry.
As you can see, the character of Borat is very much present in Christo. But how is that even possible when Mahir is a real person who has characteristics that are basically undistinguishable from a fictional character that came before him? That makes no sense, right? And by all accounts, Sacha Baron Cohen had never ever met Mahir to make this character based off of his real life persona. The whole thing seems like an improbably strange coincidence, but I think I actually have an explanation for what happened here. According to a late 90s website that was committed to digging up internet hoaxes, the Mahir webpage that went viral is not actually the page that Mahir himself made. Someone whose identity is still unknown to this day had discovered Mahir's original homepage and then re-uploaded it with the text that we now know it for. All of the lines that we know Mahir's page for, the I like sex and the taking pictures of naked women, that was all added by this unknown person. If I had to guess, I would say that the person who made this version of Mahir's homepage, the one that actually went viral, they were probably a fan of Comedy Nation, and when they found Mahir's page, they immediately saw the similarities between him and Christo. But that doesn't explain the similarities that are newly introduced to the character after the Mahir webpage happened. So here's what I think. After the Mahir webpage went viral, there is no possible way that Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't made aware of it. And there's especially no possible way that he wasn't made aware of the similarities between the real-life Mahir and his fictional character that he had already been performing. So he sees that, and all of a sudden he absorbs the other traits of the character, like the ping pong, and the speedo, and the I like sex. To put it short, what I think happened is Borat inspired Mahir, which in turn re-inspired Borat. So legally speaking, does Mahir have a case against Sacha Baron Cohen and Borat? It's possible, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, sure, a lot of the main things that people remember Borat for are things that came from Mahir, like the catchphrases, the speedo, the ping pong, but that doesn't define the entirety of what Borat is. The real comedy of Borat came from taking these people who were in otherwise respectable positions and putting them in ridiculous, uncomfortable situations and seeing how far you could push them. It's comedy that, in my opinion, still holds up really well to this very day. This comedy is very clearly not entirely inspired by Mahir, but perhaps the superficial aspects that were taken from him might be enough for him to have a case. A court case was something that Mahir had been pursuing for a while, but now the last time he had actually spoken about it is 2010 in an interview at RaffleCon.
Everybody say this. Yeah. Maybe I must go sue. Well, they haven't my permission. They did movie. My friend, all friends say Borat stole Mahir, the character.
We go to New York for the lawsuit against 20th Century Fox and Borat.
I haven't heard of this court case ever actually coming to fruition, but if he does want to come to New York to pursue it, I think I can think of a particular dog-bite attorney that might be interested. But anyway, if you want to be like Mahir and make your own homepage, you should know that GeoCities is back. Till next time, I like sex!